You're up, Travis. Pressure's on.
So my first story I'm going to tell you folks about is called Drunk on the Titanic. And we all know about the Titanic. 14th of April, 1912. It strikes an iceberg. Who's on the ship? Charles Hofflin. I think that's pronounced right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or jogging. I kind of like jogging.
Charles Joggin. Yeah. But he was like a chef or something on the ship, and basically he goes to sleep. He knows that they were in icy waters, but thought they were fine because the captain had kind of changed the direction of things. But he ends up being like jolted awake because they hit something at about 11:35, and then after that he's summoned to the bridge, so he has to go up there, and he's given a rundown of what's happened. They've hit the iceberg, and but no one's really freaking out yet. This is what I didn't know. Have you seen the movie?
Yeah, it's been a long time, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember if this is included in the movie.
I don't think so.
Sid said that there's a drunk cook in the movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I don't know. This might be in there, but I don't remember this part about it hit the ship hit the iceberg, but no one was freaked out because the Titanic was unsinkable, and so it had these locks that would just like close off, these like watertight compartments.
Yep.
So if it did ever get hit, it would just close it off and it wouldn't sink. But it didn't work. It's like they didn't test it, because when the water came in and they closed it off, it weighed down the ship, and then other parts started filling up. And so it inevitably was going to sink. It was just doomed to sink. So it's going down. People start to realize that, oh shit, this thing isn't really unsinkable. I don't know why we all thought that. But they were so confident when they built it that it was unsinkable that the Titanic had 2,223 people on board, but only enough lifeboats for 1,178. So like a little more than half. That just seems so ridiculous.
Well, it's unsinkable. I mean, it makes sense.
Right? Like, why do we even bother putting these on here?
Lifeboats? Yeah. Why do we even need insurance? Yeah, I can see it all.
So this is all going down. They're putting bread into the lifeboats and all this stuff, but Charles basically realizes he's a part of the crew, so he's not going to get saved. So he's like, well, let's go down and party. So he goes down and just drinks himself into oblivion, as the book says.
Is that what you would do, Travis? What would you do?
That wouldn't even cross my mind.
Me neither.
I would be like, let's figure out something here to get off the ship and do it.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking about that. I was like, that's kind of seems like the last thing I would do. Like, I'd want to be in...
Yeah.
Have all my wit.
Right. Because, I mean, he just totally gave up hope, and he's like, well, I'm just getting drunk and gonna have a good last stand. But, yeah, I wouldn't... At least I think I would try to keep alive somehow. Yeah. I'd be Jack on the door. But stick around for the story, because we'll see what happens.
Dun, dun, dun.
We don't have ads on this, so there's no ad break or anything. But so he goes down, he drinks. Some people say he drank 2 bottles of whiskey, which is just incredible. I don't know how you could even do that. But he's down in his cabin doing that. He goes back up after he's drinking all this, and starts throwing things off the deck to try to help people, but he eventually finds himself in the water with everybody else because the ship is sank. A boat comes around, a lifeboat, but there's no room on it. But one of his friends notices or recognizes Charlie, so just kind of like holds on to him, and he just kind of floats there with him. And the water's 2 degrees below freezing. So most people who are in the water died of hypothermia within 15 minutes. But Charles is pumped full of 2 bottles of whiskey, and he has been in the water for 4 hours total, and he still seems to be fine. I'm sure he's cold. I'm sure he's not great, but okay, 4 hours after you're in the water, surely the whiskey would have taken effect.
Yeah, well, I mean, 2 bottles of whiskey. I wonder how much he had to eat that day.
Yeah, how much bread did he have?
Yeah, because I'm real pruny.
Yeah, but that's what I was wondering because you're in the water for 4 hours.
And I wonder how much he was moving too. Like, was he trying? Because the guy had his arm, right?
Yeah,
Wonder if he was like trying to tread water, or if he was just like.
if he was just
After
out.
2 bottles of whiskey, I would just be chilling.
Yeah. Well, it's like wouldn't he start to barf and stuff at that point too?
I don't know.
Unless there's just so much adrenaline and shock in the cold that you don't really feel it anymore. It must. I don't know if it would affect you, so you wouldn't have like
It's pretty miraculous.
drunk effects. But he's in there for 4 hours, has not died, and then he's eventually rescued by, whoever came to rescue the Titanic people. But the story doesn't end there. That was not Charles's last shipwreck.
Charles's
Charles's.
apostrophe. There's an apostrophe there.
Yes. He was also on board the SS Oregon, which sank in Boston Harbor, and he survived that disaster as well. Although we don't know if that involved 2 bottles of whiskey or not. This guy, isn't that crazy?
The legend of the liquid blanket, man. It's real.
Yeah, it's good to know. I want to know if this is actually like scientifically based. Like,
Yeah.
was it the whiskey that saved him, or was it just he just got lucky somehow?
Yeah. It's wild.
Because for real, they should include bottles of whiskey on lifeboats.
Seriously.
Well, that's my story.
Nicely done, Travis.
Thank you.
Give it up for Travis, everyone. Yeah.
Oh! I could edit in a laugh track, but
Yeah.
I won't take the time.
Oh. Well, that's unfortunate.
All right, what's yours? What's your next one?
All right. You guys ready for this?
It's a one-way
Y'all ready for
conversation.
this?
They can't respond.
Well, can't we put on some cool tunes or something? Like, put that song on.
You have to buy the rights to the music.
Oh,
I
that's so
can't afford
true.
that.
I forgot about how many people watch this. Insane. Okay, so the next section, fun chapter that I really enjoyed, that I thought was so interesting. I love war history. I don't know about you, Travis, but I find war history so fascinating.
Me too. That's like the majority of this book, almost. I'd
Yeah,
say.
definitely. There was a lot of that. This chapter was called "Man's Best Friend," and we're going to talk about 3 different animals who were the unsung heroes of mostly World War I believe. Well, there's one at the end from World War II, but anyway. So the year's 1918, World War I. General John Seeley, who was a friend of Winston Churchill, had this war horse named Warrior. Pretty cool. It's like, that's the best you could come up with?
Yeah. I feel like there's a lot of war horses named Warrior.
Seriously. I mean, it is a great name. But
It's a good name. Let's not knock it, but not very creative.
anyway, I mean, they didn't have anything super exciting as far as Warrior goes, but he fearlessly evaded many, many close calls.